Okay, hey everybody, my name is Brian. I've had my 2019 Infiniti Q50 3.0T rear-wheel drive. I've had this car now for over 3.5 years, and I'm not a big channel by any means, a very small channel. In fact, I'm just going to go out there and put that out there. But I do get a fair amount of people contacting me and asking me, I'm looking at buying this pre-owned car. I mean, it happens a lot. It happens at least once a week for, the last couple of years. And, they see some of my YouTube videos where I just kind of go into, are these cars reliable? Do I enjoy mine? How's it working for me? And so I just want to come to you today, and it is now, I think this is very, very important, and I just want to reiterate this to all the people that have this car or they're looking at getting it and they're buying it pre-owned. Pre-owned is more important, what I'm going to show you here, versus someone that buys their car new. But I mean, let me get into it because it's all very important. You buy this car new or you buy it used, there's some things that you want to do and you need to do often. And I've had previous videos on this, and that's where sometimes I get some comments too. But an oil catch can is so crucial. This is the Mishimoto brand. It's the only one I recommend. I do not recommend that add one. It does not have the baffle. I mean, not the baffle, but the filter, the little micron, the 0.50 micron filter. It's almost looks like a brass stone. And these are in compressors. And the reason why those are in compressors, a filter line, it's to take out moisture. And moisture, so when your motor heats up and it's very, very hot, and the oil, I'm not going to quote you a number because it would probably be wrong, but as the motor's turning in there, your rods and everything, it's creating a vapor because the oil is really hot, and it's creating a mist. And so that mist of oil is what comes out your CCV line that comes out of the motor, and then comes through your oil catch can, and then goes back into the plenum or the intake, and that's what gets the oil vapor, because it's really, really hot. It's not like oil consistency coming out of a quart of oil container. It's a vapor. It's very little molecules of oil, and then when they cool, they get onto your valves, and so your valves get caked with oil. Very, very important. And it only takes from a brand new car to have gunked up valves, and I've seen it. I've had a previous car that was direct injection only and was turbocharged, and I had a little tune on it, and it wasn't running anywhere near 120, 150 more horsepower as this car is as it's tuned. So that even means more oil blow by. But that car, in like 12 to 15,000 miles from brand new, I took the plenum off, and I actually could see with my own eyes into the intake valves, and they looked like a crusty cavern with the things that why can I not think of things when I'm making videos, but the icicle-like structures that are hanging down. I mean, it was just awful. It was gunked up with oil. It was crusty. It looked like I had stuck that in with a turkey or broiled it, and you get all that crummy, real black looking, charred stuff. The valves looked atrocious, and I'm sorry it takes me a little bit while to spit this out. I'm not flowing on all cylinders today, but it was awful. So if you get a brand new car and you don't immediately put an oil catch can on there, that is to your demise. And so what affects having dirty intake valves is, and one reason why my car gets really good gas mileage and is a strong performer for no downpipes and just a tune and a catback exhaust and these AMS air intakes, and I'm making 500 horsepower, 510 torque, plus or minus, is because I put this oil catch can on when the car had about 400 miles from brand new. I drove it for a little bit, and then I was like, I researched it, and I immediately found that the catch can topic, and I was like, man, this car does need a catch can because I have experience with that. So I went out and bought that 400 miles. So I put that on the car, and I just want to show you. I'm going to move you over here now. Here's my little workbench, and it is kind of messy. But about every 3 months, make sure my head's in the video. Sometimes I crop it off right there at my eyes. About every 3 months, every 2 months, or even once a month, it depends on how much you're driving. I do not drive my car a whole lot, and it's a blessing because I'm not putting tons of miles on it, but I'm probably driving 6,000, 6,500, 7,000 miles a year, if that. And so I'm not driving that much. But so if you're driving a lot, this is going to be compounded tenfold, tenfold, maybe twofold. But so last time I checked this, this is my oil catch can bottom. That was the top portion that I showed you in my car. This is what unscrews. And the Mishimoto catch can is going to catch probably, with an educated guess, is probably going to catch maybe, 85% of the actual, all the stuff that's being blown back into your intake, and it's going to go into the intake valves. And because our cars are direct injected, these VR30s, and the Nissan 300 or 400, the new Nissan 400, anything that has this 3.0T, it's direct injected right now, and so it's not having fuel injected in onto the valves as a fluid to clean that off. So that oil is getting on there, and it's compounding over and over and over on itself, and it's drying due to the heat, and it's getting crusty. But on my Ford Focus ST that I had, it was gooey and crusty. It was everything. It looked awful. It looked like cancer lungs. It just looked black and charred, and you're like, holy cow, I'm not smoking. It was awful. It was heartbreaking that my car, knew from 15,000 miles in that year and a half that I had it, that it looked like that. But that's what's going to happen to your valves if you don't have a good catch can. So let me just show you. It's been a couple of months since I checked this. I don't check it a whole. That I know I have a routine because I don't drive that much. But let me just show you. I have done this now probably about 10 times since I put this on my car, and I've probably got enough oil, at least or more, to fill up. Was this a quart or liter? To fill up one of these bottles, maybe more, maybe the bigger one that comes for the automotive. If I don't know if that's a quart or what it is, but it's a lot of oil over time, and it doesn't take long. So let me just show you over just the short time from when I changed it last to now. This is how much I collected, and I don't drive a lot. So what I'll do is I typically just leave this on the counter for a couple hours and just leave that tilted up on it, and it all drip out. You can wipe it out with a rag, but I just don't want to have a lot of oily rags. But let me just show you. It is oil blow-by is not just oil. It's caustic chemicals, and I've looked into that before, and I don't have to tell you just accurately right now what it is. Sulfur and some other things, but moisture, condensation. When your motor heats up and cools, you get condensation, so you get water vapor in there too. So this is a lot more, less viscosity than just straight oil. And I saw a woman on a Mustang GT forum say she just dumps this back into her, instead of recycling it or throwing it away. You want to throw it away properly, but she just said she dumped this right back into the motor, and I was like, holy shit. And I responded to her on YouTube and wrote, that is insane, do not do that. And I got ridiculed for telling her that. But this is not oil that you want to put back into your motor. This is contamination to a large amount. You got to throw this away. Never put this back and recycle this back into your engine oil. That is the dumbest move anyone could ever do. And hopefully that person, that lady, learned that. I knew that 20 years ago you would never do that. But look how much oil that is. But and there's still some more that will go in there when I set it in there. But also too, this is the perfect time. I want to just reiterate. Let me move my camera again because I've shown you that. Catch can. Got to get a catch can. Whew! Got to do it. So let me put my camera right here. So when you have a catch can, you got to check it. That's important because it'll fill up, and then you can start. If you don't check it and you overflow it, it'll start flowing oil back into your intake valve. But another thing that you want to check that's very, very important is your heat exchanger. This is your heat exchanger on this side, the passenger side, and this is your radiator overflow tank. Heat exchanger overflow tank, radiator, main car cooling overflow tank. You want to keep an eye on these because you want them to stay constantly when the car is cool, and it also depends on the season. So when it's colder outside, it fluctuates in one direction. I think maybe it gets lower, but then when it's hotter outside, it rises. So, but you want to follow on the back side of your of these overflow containers. It has a minimum and a maximum level, and you need to get a flashlight. Unless you have young eyes and you can see really well in shadows and in darkness, get a flashlight and look maximum, minimum, and keep an eye on those. Because if you're just suddenly vanishing, losing coolant, you have a problem, and you need to catch that really, really fast and get that into the Infiniti dealership before you just drive thousands of miles with that leaking and disappearing. Because a lot of people, 16, 17s, and 18 model of these VR30s have porous blocks. And what a porous block means, the metal, the aluminum, or whatever this, cast iron, the block in the process of being made, through incorrect little bit of improcedure, the block has little bitty pores in it, like the stone in the catch can that the fluid can seep through really, really small amounts. But you're getting your coolant sucked out of your radiator, and it's going into your engine oil. So you want to keep an eye on this so that you can catch that if that's a problem. Even on a 2019 that I have, or 20, it's a potential problem. So you want to be alert and catch that before you drive thousands of miles and you have that problem. You look in there and you're like, where'd my coolant go? Where'd my coolant go? And just drive it and drive it and drive it, fill it up and keep driving it is not a smart idea. So always constantly want to check these and make sure they're between the minimum and the maximum, but then you also want to monitor again so that it's just not vanishing and you keep filling and it's going somewhere. Because even though you got to keep an eye on these, I just filled just a little bit of mine up, and some a little bit may disappear, a little bit, but not a lot. I mean, it's just common sense. Over time, a little small amount will go away, and you've got to maybe top off just a little top off. But not to make the video too long, check this and check your oil catch can. You have a happy car with coolant, with the right amount of coolant, the right amount of engine oil, and I checked my engine oil at least once a month. You want to pull your dipstick out and check your engine oil, and I did that. I had a little white napkin, and I wiped it off, and it's a light honey colored, so the oil quality looks good, and then it is just a little bit low, because your engine oil is going to get a little bit low because you're having engine blow-by oil and filling up that catch can. So you're always going to just need, once a month or so to keep an eye on your oil level, because if you let that get down, it's catastrophic. You'll damage your turbos and your motor. And I know popular YouTubers that used to be big into the VR30 platform that ruined their motors, and they had to get brand new motors put in. But luckily, I think one of the popular ones got it done under warranty, and I'm not going to name names, but I don't think very highly of some of these YouTubers that had this happen, and they preached a lot of stuff and they didn't follow what they preached. So very, very important to check your oil, check the oil level once a month, check all this stuff at least once a month. And then if you do that and all these things check out, you'll have a much healthier car, a better driving experience, a better ownership experience. Then if you sell your car down the road, the next person that gets it's not going to have a headache. So very, very key. Also too, before I go, just real fast, you can either do 5W30 or 0W20. I tend to like, after owning this car 3.5 years with experience, I am finding out that I like a 0W20 more, because I live in Texas and we get, 10 degree during the winter, 20, 30 degree. And then in the summer, we do get 90 to 100 to 105, 107. So maybe for a really hot summer, go with the 5W30 if you're racing your car a lot and romping on it. But otherwise, I recommend the 0W20, because from my experience driving this car for 3.5 years and monitoring religiously the MPG, this car gets about 2 to 4 MPG better with the 0W20, and that's huge. I mean, up to 4 MPG on the highway is a big deal over 3 to 4 to 5 years in savings in fuel, and I just think that's what this car really needs for better fuel economy. But other than that, that's the video. If you found this informative, helpful, just go ahead and give me a little like. It's very easy to click on, and check out future videos coming out. So very, very important about this VR30 twin turbo motor in this Nissan and Infiniti, and now the Nissan. So do what you got to do to protect this. This is the investment of this car. This is the lifeblood, and your oil is very, very important. Okay, thanks. Have a great day. Catch me on a future video. Bye bye.